Now, another wild rumor that came out about Mr. Kit Harington. So, let me read this to you guys. Hold on, let me pull this up because this really threw me for a loop. So if you don't know who Kit Harington is, Kit Harington is he was Black Knight in the Eternals, had a really small part, but he got very popular from his role as Jon Snow in the Game of Thrones show. So it says this: Kit Harington reportedly in talks to play Hush in Matt Reeves' The Batman 2. So this is a rumor, by the way, guys. It's not confirmed, but it is wild that Hush is being talked about as being the villain in the Batman 2. And then obviously before we recorded, Andy Serkis ended up saying that Matt Reeves told him about the story plot for the Batman 2, and he said that he's hungry for this movie. So how do you feel about Hush being rumored to be in or that Kit Harington is being rumored to play Hush in the Batman 2?
I don't know if I love Kit Harington as Hush.
Why?
I just don't see him as Hush. And maybe I'm typecasting him, and maybe I don't know him well enough. But he did Lord of the Rings, and then he was going to do Black Knight, and I don't know. I just think you need someone who is, someone who could play like a mischievous, vicious, backstabbing villain like Hush. And Hush is one of my favorite villains ever. Have you read Hush?
No, but I saw the animated film, so like I know the story. You know what I mean? I think that Kit Harington, Game of Thrones kind of put him. You know how like you have these iconic roles where you always play like a similar version of the same character every time. In other films, like Kit Harington is made for like roles like Black Knight or like those medieval times heroes. You know what I mean? I even think he'll be a good Constantine or something like that. But I don't see him really playing Hush. But I do think that if Kit Harington is casted as Hush, I think this is going to be the role that puts him into a bigger class of acting. And when I say that, like, rest in peace to Heath. If Heath was alive after the Joker film, his career just goes up to the top.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what I think that could do for someone like Kit Harington. So because I trust Matt Reeves so much, he obviously sees something that we don't. And
this is a rumor.
Yeah, no, I'm saying like if it's true, this is true, then he will obviously tell something that we don't. I think he would kill it because it's even funny because Jon Snow in the books is way more vicious than Jon Snow in the show. Jon Snow is more like heroic. I put my ethics over everything kind of guy. Where Jon Snow in the books is a douchebag and a liar and a thief and a cheater. You know what I mean? So I wonder how that would look because he's never played that type of character in his big film. So it would be very interesting. But
also, Hush is, he's a redhead.
Yeah. Hush is well, they can always just dye his hair, but that's nothing.
I don't know, dying from black to red. I guess you could do
it. Wait, are we talking like ginger or like straight red?
Like ginger.
Okay.
I guess. I mean, some girls have green hair, so why not?
So, do you like Hush being in the back? Because I know you were like Court of Owls. Do you like Hush being in this? And if you and let's just say this rumor's true and Hush is the guy. Do you think they're trying to build up the Court of Owls to be like the last movie of the trilogy, or are you with Hush being the guy?
I'd be happy with Hush. I would prefer Court of Owls. I still love Hush. Like, I don't know where Hush would rank in my top Batman villains. He would definitely be like top 3, top 5. Yeah. But Court of Owls is my number 1. I mean, first of all, a friend at the time knew I was like a big Batman fan. And his brother was like really into comics. And he was like, yo, I just ordered this really cool Batman omnibus. Like, check it out. I'm excited. I can't wait to read about it. And the Court of Owls are in it. And I knew the Court of Owls from Gotham. And he was like, yeah, you should check it out. Here's the link. So I was like, okay, ordered it. And I wasn't expecting, like, I was like, oh, this would be just cool, put on my shelf. It's like cool art, whatever. And I wasn't expecting to like love reading comics. And it was the first time I actually, like, I kind of read comics when I was a kid because whatever, I would get comics and go to sleepaway camp and I would bring some and but I would not read it. I would kind of just look at the art. So I never really experienced reading a comic. And when I read that Court of Owls comic, it changed everything for me. I mean, from that moment on, I was obsessed with comics. And to this day, it's my favorite Batman comic. You know, I think they're the coolest villain. Like, I could argue to the death anyone why Court of Owls are the best Batman villain. So I know a lot of people say, oh, well, they should do a different movie for the Batman Part 2 and build it up to the Court of Owls. And I want the Court of Owls now. I'm impatient. But yes, you could make the case to build up the Court of Owls. However, I think that case is very different from the perspective of Matt Reeves. And that's what people fail to realize who try to make that case. Because Matt Reeves already introduced us to Barry Keoghan as the Joker. Barry Keoghan is a pretty big name for an up-and-coming actor. I don't think they were going to do that if he wasn't going to be the main villain at some point. And I do think they want to do Barry Keoghan, the Joker, and in Part 3, and kind of go out with their Joker swan song. And I'm hoping we get the Court of Owls in Part 2. But I think they're kind of playing with us. I do think that it's going to be Court of Owls or Hush. There's been hints. There's been multiple hints towards both. So I don't think that anyone can make the case that it's going to be one or the other at this point. I think they probably would do it from a biased perspective. Like I said, I have a preference, but if you watch the show, you know I will always give you an unbiased perspective, and that's my take. I think that there's been multiple hints that it's going to be Hush. I think there's multiple hints that it's going to be Court of Owls, and I think they're doing that intentionally so we have conversations like the one we're having right now.
Facts. Free press.
Well, right. And also they don't want anyone to know what's coming, you know?
Facts. Okay.